Good morning, this is Miss Billerbeck, and we're going to do the Chapter 3 quiz for Singapore Math 8. So this is going to be our key. So first what we're going to do is we're going to distribute these two, and we're going to circle that negative sign and distribute that. So 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times negative 1 is 4x. Negative x times 11 is negative 11x, and negative x times positive x is minus x squared. So there's really a 1 in front of here, even though it's not written. So then let's group our like terms with the sign in front. Okay, so we want to add the like terms. So 12 minus 1 is 11x squared. Negative 4 minus 11 is negative 15x. On this one, we have a, and then there's a 1a right here, which we don't write, and there's a 1 right there, which we also don't write. So if we use our exponent rules, this is 6 plus 1 times b, which is 1 plus 5. And there isn't any c, so it's just c to the 7. Okay, so that'd be a to the 7th, b to the 6th, and c to the 7th. Okay, if we weren't comfortable with our exponent rules, we could have listed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 a's and 1 b. And an a and 5 b's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 7 C's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we could have counted them all. So we would have had these 6 plus 1 is 7. This 1 plus the 5 is 6. And we had 7C. So on this one, we can do our FOIL first, outer, inner, last, or you can do the box. So this is 8c squared, and 8c times negative 7 is negative 56c. Negative 3 times c is negative 3c, and negative 3 times negative 7 is a positive 21. Well, these two are like terms, so they need to be combined. So we have 8c squared, and then minus 56 minus 3 is negative 59c plus 21. All right, we do the same thing with this one. We do first, outer, inner, last, or we can do a box. So here's the box when it starts getting a little bit more difficult. So 5x and plus 2 and 6x plus 9. So 5 times 6 is 30. X squared. 6x times 2 is 12x. 5x times 9 is 45x. And 9 times 2 is 18. You see we have our like terms right here that we can find. So this is going to be 30x squared. And this will be 57x plus 18. Okay, the box comes in really handy when we have a trinomial with a binomial, so let's use that. Okay, so we have 2x squared plus minus 7x And note I'm putting the negatives with the actual number and the pluses in line with these bars. And then this is going to be 3x plus negative 9. So 3 times 2 is 6, and that's x cubed. 3x times negative 7x is negative 21x squared. 3x times 5 is 15x. Negative 9 times 2x is negative 18x squared, so it's 2x squared. Negative 9 times negative 7 is a positive 63x. And negative 9 times 5 is negative 45. So then we circle our like terms. And we combine them. So we have 6x to the third. We have negative 18 plus negative 21. So that'd be negative 39x squared. And this would be 63 plus 15 is a 78x minus 45. All right, when we have this, this is a perfect square trinomial. So we know that, that's the x squared. So a equals x, b equals 4. So a squared plus 2a times, b. And then it's plus b squared, so 4 squared. So we're using a formula for this one. So this is going to be x squared. 2 times 4 is 8x, and 4 squared is 16. So that would be our perfect square trinomial. Okay. We also have another perfect square trinomial. So this one, a equals 3m, b equals 7p. So we're going to have a squared. So we're looking at a squared, which is 3m squared plus 2 times ab. So 3m times 7p plus b squared. So that's 7p squared. So 3m squared is 9m squared. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. So we have 42 mp plus, and 7 squared is 49, and 49p squared. So there you have it. So now we have a perfect square trinomial, but we have a minus sign. So a is going to be y, and b is going to be 8. So a squared is y squared minus 2 times a, which is y, times b, which is 8, plus 8b squared, which is 8 squared. So we end up with y squared, negative 2 times 8 is minus 16y plus 64. 8 times 8 is 64. So 8 squared is 8 times itself twice. Okay, so a equals 6a in this case. Oops, I guess I shouldn't have used a's. Now I'm going to make something that's kind of weird. So let's forgo saying that this is basically A and this is basically B, okay? So A squared is now 6A squared minus 2 times 6A, there we go, times 3B plus, and this is always a plus sign even if there's a minus there, plus 3B squared. So we have 6 times 6 is 36A squared. We have 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. AB. And 3 squared is 9B squared. All right, this one we have a difference of squares. So A equals R and B equals 7. So we have R squared minus 7 squared, which equals R squared minus 49. So that's that special case of difference of squares. Okay, we have the same thing here because same thing in the parentheses, just alternating signs. That's the key to knowing you have a difference of squares. So A equals 4D, B equals 5F. So now we say 4D quantity squared minus 5F quantity squared equals, and 4 squared 16D squared minus 5 squared 25F squared. Aren't these special cases nice when you can just blindly use your rules? Okay, so finally we get into some numbers. So this one, we can say, well, this is just 700 plus 4 squared. Okay, so we're going to make a perfect square trinomial out of that one. So we have A is 700, B is 4. So we're going to square A plus, and we're going to do 2A times B is 4 plus, and then B squared 4 squared. So 7 squared is 49, and 100 squared is 10,000. So that means we have 49 plus 4 zeros, which gives us 490,000. That just does not sound right. Okay. But anyway, that's what it is. Okay, so 2 times 7 is 14, and then 14 times 4. Let's do that really quickly with my little calculator on the paper. So 16, and that's 56. Okay, so we have 5,600 plus, and 4 squared is 16. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so now we add them all up. So the final answer, drum roll, is, okay, so this is, nothing is there except here, so we are going to write 49, 495,616. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Let's double check that and make sure. Okay, 704, and let's square that. It certainly is that answer. Amazing. Okay, so let's try this one. All right, so we have, that's close to 600 minus 3. So if we use the same formula where A equals 600 and B equals 3, we get 600 squared minus, because we're using a minus sign here, 2 times A times B plus B squared, which is 3 squared. Okay, so 600 squared is 36, and then we have 4 zeros because we're squaring 2 zeros, so that makes 4. Minus 2 is, 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 3 is 3,600, because we add the 2 zeros. And then plus 3 squared is 9. So this one, we're going to box that one in. This one is, we have 4 spots here, 4 spots there, so it's 36, 36, 09. And if we want to put our commas in there, there we have it. So we just squared 597. And that is not what I got. Oh, you know what? I forgot to subtract. Don't do what Miss B just did. Oh, okay, so we've got to subtract 3,600 from there. Okay, so don't do what I did. Good thing I checked it. Okay, so we have 0, 0. We're going to borrow 1 from here. Got 10 here. We're going to borrow from here. And 1 there. Okay, so we have 4. This is going to be 6, 5, 3. Okay, then we're going to add our little 9 over here. Okay, so the answer is then going to be, drum roll please, 356,409. And there you have it. Okay. So remember, if it's a minus sign, you subtract. It's not a suggestion. It's a demand. Okay. Next page. Boy, you'd think I'd write an easy quiz, huh? So the next page. This one, well, we just do the perfect square trinomial formula. So it actually is easy. So A is just A. B is B squared here is 81. So B is going to be the square root of that, which is 9. So this one is just A plus 9 squared. It was just that easy. Okay, so if this is 6 squared m squared, and that equals a squared, and this is 2 squared p squared, and that equals b squared, then a would have to equal 6m. 2p is going to have to equal b. So now this one's going to be, since it's got all pluses, we're going to put 6m plus 2p squared. All right, this one's easier. A squared equals r squared. And so A equals r. B squared equals 6 squared, so b is going to be 6. So this particular one, since we have a minus here, we're going to have a minus between a and b, so we have r minus 6 squared. All right, so 64 is 8 squared, x squared, and that's a2 squared. So a is going to be 8x. 3 squared, y squared, so that's going to be b squared. So b is going to be 3y. So what we have here, there's a minus sign. So that means we do 8x minus 3y squared. Okay, now we don't have a trinomial, a perfect square trinomial, but we do have this. So we have a squared equals p squared, so a equals p. B squared equals 10 squared, so b equals 10. So with the difference of squares, we alternate our signs. So it's p minus 10, b plus 10. And this one's going to be 4 squared a squared minus 7 squared b squared. Okay, so we're going to have 4a minus, well, we could switch it up too. It's perfectly fine to do 4a plus 7b, and then 4a minus 7b. It's perfectly okay. Because of the commutative property of multiplication, I can have this plus sign here as long as I have a minus sign here. Or I can have the minus sign here as long as I have an alternating plus sign there. All right, now to do the number magic. Okay, so this one, well, a squared is 123 squared, so a is just 123. B squared is 122 squared, so b is just 122. We have a difference of squares, so we're going to write 123 plus 122 times 123 minus 122. So when we add these two up, we get 5. 3 plus 2 is 5, 2 plus 2 is 4, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have 245 times, and 123 minus 122 is 1. So our answer here is 245. All right, the bonus problem. Okay, so I have a squared plus abc, or I have the quadrilateral ABCD is a square with the sides of x. Okay, so I have ABCD. It's a square. Oops, that's C and that's D. You have to keep going around. So A, B, C, D. So each side's x. Okay. And the PQRS is a rectangle. So P, Q, R, S. Okay, so it says the dimensions of PQRS are, well, the long side's x plus 2, so x plus 2, and the short side's going to be x minus 2, x minus 2. Okay, so the two quadrilaterals, quadrilateral means 4 sides, lateral is sides, have the same perimeter. So the perimeter, you just add up all the sides. So perimeter of A, B, C, D is going to be x plus x plus x plus x, which is 4x. Okay, perimeter of PQRS is going to be, and we're going to just make this simple on this, 2 times x plus 2, since there's 2 of them, and then 2 times x minus 2. So that gives us 4x plus 4 plus, 2x. 2x plus 4, and then 2x minus 4. So the 4's cancel and the 2x's add, so we have 4x. So both of them equal 4x. So that is showing it. Okay, so 4 plus 4x minus 4x is 0, so it cancels. What's the area of ABC? So the area of ABCD is going to be length times width, which is x times x, so that's going to be x squared. Okay, the area of PQRS is going to be x plus 2 times x minus 2. Well, that's the difference of squares formula. So that means it's going to be x squared minus, and 2 squared is 4. Oh, okay, and these are in centimeters, so this is going to be centimeters squared. And that's centimeters squared. And perimeter is always in centimeters, so you mustn't forget your units there, because we were talking about centimeters. Okay, so which quadrilateral is the biggest? Well, if I'm subtracting 4 from PQRS, and both of them have an x squared, that would make the ABCD has the biggest area. Okay, because this is x squared, and this is also x squared, but then they're subtracting 4. So if you're subtracting something from the same thing, then whatever the area of whatever's been subtracted will be smaller than the original area. So that's what makes ABCD the biggest area. And that's it for your Chapter 3 quiz for Singapore Math 8. Have a wonderful day.